Hello, 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 hello. How's everybody doing today? So back to Career Build Series Live here. So episode 32. So we're going to continue working on the home ship. Do some stuff on that. Did a little bit off screen, not too much. So added in a winch. So we have a winch in here. This is supposed to be the winch housing in here. With pulleys now, this makes it so the winch is much more usable now, so I'm thrilled that we got the pulley update that came just in the nick of time to get this set up. So, for example, we can put a bunch of pulleys and do a bunch of cool things with this, so that is nice. So, put that pulley in or the winch in last night, or this morning, cannot remember. Let's see, I tried building a new seaplane. I'm just going to end up using an old seaplane. The new seaplane is it's just too much work for what it's going to be. And I never got to use the old seaplane, so we use that. But doing pretty well on getting this moving forward. So we have, you can see the winches in here. I want to flesh out spaces for the containers, so let's do that as well. Let's see where we at here. To the seat. Okay, good. So let's cut this. This is all crane controls. We'll get that working at some point. Or we'll redo that so that's a little bit more compact. Cut these for now, just move these out of the way. This is just the controls for the doors. We'll make a panel for those as well. Alright, so I need to flesh out where these containers are going, so we'll go ahead and put those on. How's the music on the stream? Is it good? Too loud? How's it going? So ideally I would like a 2 gap because that allows me to walk through it, so... I think we'll do a center gap instead. So... Yeah, I think that's going to be best because I don't have enough space for that. Probably there, I'm thinking. I still want functionality where I can get to the garage. I want to be able to put in a winch back here. A pulley, rather. So let's expect right there, I would say. Alright, what do we have here? One, two, yeah, see, we'd have... I want at least 2 blocks between the center, because that will... you end up getting in a problem. Nah, I don't know. Let's see. Do we want connectors or not? If I use grippers, I can put them right on top of each other and walk on the sides. If I put them in a gap here, I can put the cable down the center, but then I can't walk around to the back. So interesting. Let's see. Let's try a 1 gap in the middle. So we need 2 again for our character to walk. And I can't do connectors to hook it to the deck if I do it this way, but I might do grippers. The problem is I would be trespassing into my ceiling underneath. So I might do cross bracing there. Ooh, that might actually work out all right. All right, so let's drop these. All right, let's go like this. We'll cut that, move it up 1 or a couple. Let's just move it up a couple. All right. So yeah, so let's go ahead. I think we'll do grippers. I usually don't do grippers, but I think that's what I'm going to end up doing. If symmetry is not on, of course it isn't. Why would it be? All right. Alright, so that would be where the grippers would go, right like that. And we're going to see where this punches through, so. That's the problem I have with the grippers being two blocks tall, is that gives me problems. But I can put a cross brace in here. If I go back 2, we can put a cross brace in perfectly, so let's do that. So, 1, 2, okay, good. Alright, let's merge some stuff in here. Okay. So those are merged, and then we'll merge. So these are fine. These will get... how did I deck up the cross brace? I thought I counted it. One more. Alright, that sucks. Let's actually just do this. They just need to move back 1. So let's go... That will actually work better. Okay. And then that... How? On what planet can I not get these cross-braced correctly? Okay, I got them right. Alright. Jesus. Alright, so that cross-brace will go across there. We will get these plumbed back in like so. And then we'll cut that. Now let's paint this so that's not... I don't think we'll see it anyway, but I'll make this dark. Okay. Grab the gripper. Alright, nice. And then these here can be fixed. Nice. Alright, so those are in there. I didn't paint up these up yet, so I'm going to paint them. Stand by, I'll be right back, guys. How's it going there, SYM? How are you? How's it going there, Boathouse? Good to see you. Good to see you, David. How are you? How are you? Good morning. Good morning. All right, good. So let's fix this up. Normally I would do connectors, but I'm gonna do grippers. That way the containers can be closer together. Okay. So there we have container. Right there. And then what do we want to do here? Let's go paint. That's where the 2 containers will sit. And then if I'm going to tow something while the containers are on board, what I can do is, now that we have pulleys, I can run the cable down between them and to the pulley. So, but there we go. Let's see what I want to do for treatment in here. May or may not do something in there for design work. We'll see. I'll kind of see what some of them look like. But that will be at least the outline of the 2 containers going there. But ideally, so what I'm going to do here is with the new system, with the new pulleys, I'm going to be able to put a pulley housing in, and that will let the cable go through for towing, and then it will go through a double pulley housing for if we have containers on board. But yeah, so let's see. Let's grab a pulley. And then we're going to want one of these. How high is that? I'll figure it out in a second here. How many blocks off the ground? 1, 2, 3, 4 blocks off the ground. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's pretty good cable height. Perfect. All right. I want to make sure there's 2 there. We wouldn't want to walk in front of the cable. Pretty much cables, you know, cable goes across. You can't walk through there anyway, so. Oh, come on. Stop deleting random shit. Alright, so there's the pulley housing, and then the, you know, what we'll be able to do is connect the cable from here to here. That's 1 too high, huh? No, that's right. It's here. It just looks higher than it should be. That actually does need to go down 1. Okay. Let's bring that down 1. So there are the container slots. So we'll be able to walk alongside the containers. If we're going to run a cable, it will come straight down the middle. And then we'll go to another pulley out back here. And that will be able to allow us to tow. I don't know why we're sitting funky, but we are. And then there's the winch. All right, good. So that's it's some good there. I don't know why we're sitting funny. Listing to port. Let me make sure we don't have any water in us there from leakage or something. Could be the way the tank's filled. I'm not sure, but we're definitely listing. Curious why that is. Yep, that works. I don't know why we're listing, but I'll fix that later. All right, good. So that's in. So now we can put some containers. Let's go ahead and we'll do a test run here where we go ahead and load a container. Let's save this real quick here. let's cut that. Let's put that right there is fine. Alright, so we want to be very careful when we do load that we don't have the bottom connectors on, or else it's gonna grab and we're gonna be in deep shit. Let's see. How did I screw up the measurement? I didn't. It's fine. Nope, they're right on the money. Okay, I didn't screw up the measurement. I thought I had. So. That does stick over more than I'd like. That's fine. All right. Now let's just take a toggle. Toggle that to default state on. Now put the brakes on. Okay. These will be releases here. All right. Let's go down and up against the dock. Do a quick unload. Not good. Why are they sliding? Brakes should be on. Brakes should be on. Why are you sliding with the brakes on? Jackasses. Oh, fuck off. Do they start with the attachment points on? Let me see real quick. They do. That's why. See, they're trying to grab each other. Those have to be off, so. Brake is on. So I don't know. Oh, you know what? It's probably infinite electricity. That's what it is. They didn't have electricity. Okay. I have to go in here too, and let's grab these toggles and fix these toggles. The hell are they? Right here. Push. Oh, they're push button start. Screw it. We'll just jump on and fix them. You know, when we load them, they're not going to be pre-energized like this. So there we go. So we're good now. So they won't try to adhere to each other. They're stuck now because we have electricity. So, all right, Goob. I have them so that they all disconnect, but we'll get lined up here. Did I write it down? Oh, did I write it down in the H menu? I don't think I did. See if I put in the hardpoint connector there. I gotta figure out what I hooked up for the hardpoint there, for the hardpoint release. Nothing. Okay, that'll be why. All right. See, trigger is there. Okay, what is 6? 6 is gonna be hardpoint release. Okay, good. That locks it so it doesn't sway because it's a velocity pivot, so it's gonna want to sway. There we go. So it's trying to rock and roll because the two containers wanted to grab each other because they start in the grab position. Okay. There we go. Also, a while ago, they did add the hardpoint connector on top, so get me grabbed and rotated. That's good for rotation, is with having that hardpoint on there, you can rotate it. So, okay, there we go. All right, let's go down and we'll disconnect this one. I gotta disconnect both of them, so I need to do the release. Okay, they're moving now. All right, good. So they'll be independent so that I can make one of them do it. So Why is the release not working? I have the release on. Why is the release not working? It's annoying. Release connector true. Okay. I missed some of them. At this point, I might as well just do both of them. Alright, that is break. All 4 of these breaks done. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Okay, I didn't do the interiors on that side. Okay, that is release. Come on, get out of there. Release. 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 And release. Okay, good. What's this one? Break. 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 And break. Alright, now I can control both of them. Alright, good. Quickly jump on there and shut the connectors off. There we go. There we go. Why the fuck are you sliding around? Brake is on. No, I didn't merge it. That's be why. That would be why. Come on there, guy. Get on there. Alright, good. Finally, maybe we'll get this done here. Alright, there we go. There we go. Alright. Alright, let's get this set up here. Alright, good. So some tension on there. A little bit. Alright, that one's now released. Mercifully. So I want to rotate it at this point, so there will be a rotatable head on this that will be able to spin it. And that will make it a little bit easier for to make sure I don't hit the crane itself, because now that's rotated, you see I can get it without hitting the crane for the most part. Right. And this would be close to the dock. This would be right up against the dock, so we shouldn't have those lean problems. It'll be tied off to the dock. Okay. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's get this one released. So, works pretty well so far. So this will have a bunch of multifunction attachments, so they will go on the end there. Why does this one look like it didn't release? What the hell is going on? Why is this one not released, is the question. Oh, God. Okay, we know it works. It's just pissing me off that it won't release. Yeah, that's release false. Okay, it works fine. Jesus Christ. Alright. Let's get this one here. Alright, so that is pretty good. We'll work on that. So they attach and they're fine. I like the alignment. The alignment is good, so we're good there. Alright, good. Let's see if I can put a couple more cross bracings in here. There we go. Okay. Right. That's good. So a couple things I want to put on this is they'll essentially, one thing we use is these container slots for modules, but also, so for example, what if we do an A-frame? The nice thing with the pulleys now is we have a winch in here, and so for example, you have this in real life tugboats where, for example, if they're going to be pushing a barge, what they'll do is they'll have two pulleys like this. And they'll have two winches. The winch will come down here, it will go through the pulley, and then it will go out, and it will connect to the barge. The barge can be pulled towards the tugboats to make a one unit. So that's so the winches are kind of cool. They're the pulleys are cool. They're way oversized, of course, as is everything they make. Be nice if they didn't make them so friggin' huge, but they did. So is what it is. But, all right, that's good functionally wise. So one thing I want to build is an A-frame, and so the A-frame will hook in, and what it will do is it will go over the back of, it will go over the stern, and then the winch will go through the pulley, up through the pulley there, and so if we need to pull something very heavy, it will go vertically up like this, then pull onto deck, because as you can imagine, it's much harder to lift the front of the tugboat up than to roll it over. So for very heavy stuff, be able to use the A-frame. For deep water stuff like this doesn't have that long of a winch, but this is 600 meters. So that can go through pulleys and go really deep. So that is kind of nice as well. So let's double check, make sure this is saved. So one thing I want to add is a diving bell. So let's see, let's work on the diving bell. That was something I wanted to work on. So we'll go ahead and start that. So build a diving bell for some of these missions that I want to do. I think if I want an opening hatch, I might not want or need an opening hatch. So let's just start building the diving bell. So let's see, we want... No, we don't need a door frame control. Door frame edge, okay. Try it upside down like this. Alright, so there's the frame of the diving bell. And then we're going to need enough space that we can easily work in here. So let's go 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Okay. Now let's go up a couple on it. Let's go up one on either side. So that's 6. What's the height in here now? 8. Okay, good. I want this to feel a little bit cramped, so. Alright, so this will allow us to do some of those rescue missions deep under water. Alright. Let's see how I want to do this. Let's nuke the top for now. We need a split on that. Okay. Trying to have a bunch of accessories for this ship, so we're good to go. And then I need to split on there, right there. Okay. Block, please. Thank you. All right, good. Hit the right keys, we'll be in great shape here. And shut symmetry off, that's how. Alright, let's see. I wasn't going to put any windows in it. Let's see. What are we, one off now? We're only one block off. Okay. I'm not going to worry about coming up on the 4s there. Not necessarily. I could trim them. We'll see how I like the shaping on this, and then we'll see if I want to go to 4s or not. It may not go to 4s. Let's see. Try 4s. I want it to be a little bit rounder, not so sharp. Okay. Try 4s, see what I think. Problem is we go into big ass in blocks on that. The inlays get big doing this. Yeah, we lose a lot of real estate there, so let's go like this. Let's go up, and then we'll make sure we don't lose too much real estate. Don't want this to be too heavy either. It's on the square side. Trying to make sure I have enough space for everything I need in here, so. Oh, come on. Click the right button. It's pretty friggin' big there. Deleting shit I don't want to delete. Getting old. Need space for some arts and stuff in here too, so I don't want to make it too tight. Kind of digging that shape. Okay. let's try that. See, I like this. We have some flat surface to put equipment in. Looking at height-wise there, that is 6'7". Okay, perfect. There's the interior space. Need enough space for a diver to get in. Yep, diving bell. How's it going there, Rasmus? Yeah, make it a diving bell for the new home ship here. Been seeing far too many posts of people saying that it's impossible to sink things, so we will sink something. As it is not impossible. As I just done the basic testing, so let's get the ceiling kind of treated here. A little bit of space for some plumbing in here too. Need that plumbing space in here. So. Okay. Some of it can be visible, but make sure we have plenty of plumbing space here. Alright. Alright, so we put some pumps in there and stuff. Maybe, yep, four bangers. We need 5s to be able to put pumps in. Yeah, we can put pumps in there. Okay, good. They're 5s. We can put pumps in. Alright, good. Alright, so that is... So far, let's go ahead and drop this in the drink. Okay. So weighted bottom. Where's the CG? CG's there, okay. Alright, let's set that. It's gonna be dangling off the cable anyway, but we want to get it so it still tries to sit up right. There we go. Nice. Okay. Get in there, you scumbag. There we go. Alright, let's see. Nice. Alright. And we'll do a boost pump from the surface, probably. It's gonna go right into the... That's fine. Yeah, we'll boost pump it from the surface, probably. Yeah, they definitely need to look at the flow rates. It's just getting irritating because like I keep seeing people constantly saying the problem is they're misleading other people. So I keep seeing people, especially on Reddit, they'll say it's impossible to sink boats, and then somebody will be like it's impossible to sink boats, and then they go out and they say it's impossible to sink boats, and it's like they don't bother doing the testing, but they're happy to go, share rumors that they hear. The flow rate is too slow. Like I can show you my test here. We'll run my test. Let's run my test here. Let's save this really quick. Diving bell. Diving bell. Okay. Here, let's run my test on the other dock. So, where is it? Right here. Flood test. So, I didn't... did I add the latest thing I did? I don't know. So, here is my flood test. So, this is keeping... this was some experimentation here to keep flow rates high. So, this is all air. it cycles out the water so that it's not clogging up at all. And this gives us a steady, pretty high air rate leaving. So let's go ahead, and I'm just going to respawn this, and then I'll set a timer. See how long it takes to sync this. So, all right, let's go ahead and spawn it, and we'll press the button, and I'll start the timer. All right, there we go. So we'll see how long this takes. We'll be doing other things, but give us some sense of how long it takes to do that. Okay. I think I'm gonna raise the roof 1. Let's raise the roof 1. Alright, give me a little bit more space in here. Alright. And then I'm just going to do super simple for right now. Then I'll play with it. How did this become an even number? That's gross. Okay, let's fix that. But yeah, you know, you see it, it frustrates me that I keep seeing people parroting the same, you know, thing over and over again without doing any of their own testing. And so then it becomes a rumor, and like it's like, for example, the worst one as far as I'm concerned is like literally it keeps happening today. People are like, the devs are abandoning the game. They're working on the next game, and then you'll get a new player like, oh my god, I just bought the new game. The devs are abandoning the game. It's like, no, they're not. It's like, and then I will literally post a post from like 2 weeks ago exactly what they said, verbatim, and it's like, you know, people just, like, a lot of people just don't read, and they pass off just their assumptions as if they're somehow fact. And it just gets very frustrating, you know? So, is a pet peeve of mine. It's just like, you know, just read. You know, all the updates are there, just read them. It's not that difficult, you know? You know, for the things they do, you know, one of the things the devs do correctly is they, you know, I think, is they have, you know, weekly updates. Whether they have a lot to show or not, it's a weekly update, and the benefit of that is you get, you know, the benefit with the weekly update is, let me just do this in before I forget. Benefit of a weekly update is that you, get to see what's going on, and like people will still complain. They'll be like, "Oh, why did they even have an announcement if there is nothing to say this week?" It's because it's a weekly update. You get an update whether there's much or not, you know, and they still do tell us stuff. But some people will consider if it's not important to them, it must not be important to anyone, and that's you know, that's not true either. So it's you know, but the best thing again is just go back and read, you know. Yeah, it's a trickle with weapon damage. I did some C4. You know, part of it too is people will yell out hyperbole. They'll say it does no, you know, there's, you know, boats don't sink, and well, they don't sink very fast. And it's like, well, that's not what you said. You said they don't sink. So when you get corrected and somebody says they do sink, they go, well, I meant that they. Well, say that then. You know, be clear with what you're saying, because people are actively trying to, you know, discuss what's going on. So let's see, we'll run that, and then I think we should have everything I need there. So let's play with this for now. Probably do all the pumping on the surface. I think that'll be more fun. We'll see. Haven't decided yet. All right, so we're in here. Let's see. So, I can use these ports. As you can see, we have 1.1 atmosphere in here. So you see the pretty much stable there. Which one is my in is the question. Trying to... I wish I could... Here, we'll do this. Which one is my out? The right one. Okay. Actually, I wanted to go in, so let's go in. There we go. So, as you can see, we push the water out. So, we're going to push the water out till we've got no water in here. And then we'll have a, diving bell. So, essentially, it's going to be automated where it's going to maintain... It's essentially going to do... It's going to turn the pump if there's any water inside, period. There's water inside, it's going to turn the pump on, kick the water up. So it's going to increase the air pressure in here when the system's turned on to kick out any. So we get a little bit of walking around space. We'll put some seats in here, probably on these sides, and then equipment on these sides. But me just walking around, kick some water in. But this is like, it doesn't matter if it gets a little wet in here. The point is that it's dry enough in here that you can take your suit off and breathe, and then go out, do your mission, come back in here, back and forth, in and out as you need to, and dump the diving bell over the side of the ship. So, pretty simple there. But pretty simple. Yeah. I'm just completely sick of Reddit at this point. It's like, I keep quitting Reddit, and I go on there to help people, and it's such a miserable place. I don't know why I keep going back. I generally go on there to help people, and it's, the other thing, too, is the problem is it becomes an echo chamber where it's filled with a bunch of negative people who just want to shit on the game, and that's not helpful either for, especially a lot of new players say, oh, I want to learn about this game. Where do I go? Reddit. And so they go to Reddit, and then you get a bunch of disgruntled people who just tell them that the game they just bought doesn't work at all. And it's just not true, and so, sometimes they go on there to kind of actually help some of these people out who actually want to learn how to play the game and actually want to play the game and aren't just there to complain, and so it's, what happened to the bell? Did I grab it back? I did grab it back. Okay. So that's why I'll go on there, even though it's against my better judgment to do it sometimes. Let's save this real quick. I'm not going to work too much on this diving bell. 902, that's not bad mass. Figuring a container weighs 1,500. So this is less than a container. Most of the pumping is going to be done outside on the, it's going to be pumped from outside, so I wasn't going to put portholes on here, but Daniel wanted portholes, so let's see what portholes look like on here. We'll give it a little bit of features on there, something to look at. Give it a little some interest there. Oh, piss off. Click the wrong button. There we go. And then I need to go at least, what are they, 3? 3, so it's got to be here. So, okay. I just want to make sure it was high enough that I could put gear underneath it. Oh, come on. Keep clicking the wrong buttons, and it's annoying. There we go. That makes it a little interesting to have windows on there. Gotta make this heavy enough that it will sink, though. So, see how heavy we have to make this to sink. So what are we at? 890. Okay. shit. I don't want to do that. Do there. You know, there's a lot of people asking for help who are not specific at all, and you know, if you want help, you really need to be specific. You know, you need to ask exactly what, and that it's tough sometimes. You don't know what what your problem is. You don't know what you're asking for as far as help goes. But you know, you gotta be as specific as possible. And some people will get in a bad habit of being very inspecific, and then you know, they get frustrated that people can't help them. And it's like, well, you know, you gotta kind of come up with some sort of specificity of what you're asking for in order for people to be able to help you. You know, so it can be tough. Let's see, we're up to 12, 11. We're getting there. You know, probably the best thing to do is, it's gonna grow if I do that. You know, water ballast is convenient, and the reason water ballast is convenient is that you know, it's pumpable, so I can pump the water out of the ballast, and then when I lift it on the ship, the bell doesn't weigh a lot, you know, and that's kind of convenient. So like we're getting in there now. So like here's our bell there. We have a lot of air ballast in here. Come on, jump in there, you asshole. Get in there. All right. You know, and I don't know. I won't go on this rant too long, but it was like, okay, we did sink, nice. So we took on enough water. We didn't take on that much. How much water did we take on? Like 3,000 liters. Okay. It's a balancing act. You know, you have your what do you call them? Your sinking ship survival crew, and they like to, you know, they like to sink ships. And so it's not really the intended function of the game, but it's perfectly reasonable gameplay. The issue being that you also have people who wanted to make submarines and all these other things that then, you know, there are contradictory ends there where, you know, for example, you know, kind of the Reddit argument I was on last night was, you know, somebody they don't want to learn how to build things. They don't want to learn how to you know, actually make some of the things work, and that's fine. But you know, they want to do that at the expense of those of us who want to build stuff, and I see that as problematic. It's like, you know, it's a building game, you know, and you know, you know, you see this a lot, especially with challenging games. People are like, it's supposed to be a game, it's not supposed to be work. Well, you know, that just because you don't like it doesn't mean it's not a game still, you know. You know, somebody who doesn't like driving a truck in American Truck Simulator doesn't mean it's not a game because you don't like it. It's still a game, you know. It's just you don't like it, you know, and that's fine. But okay, what are these here? Yeah, so if I do pumpable ballast, it makes it so that it's not so heavy to lift in the ship. Now, if I use the A-frame that I'm going to put on the removable A-frame, god damn it, on the ship, that's going to also help because it'll be lifting it off the back of the ship, so the ship won't tip. Plus, if this is close into the ship, it should be fine. So let's put in a water spawner in here. Test this out. You know, so it's always a constant balancing act of the different parts of the community want different things, and some of us want things to be more in depth, you know, and adding that depth for a lot of people is you know, they don't want to do that much work, and that's fine. But you know, sometimes people get their Krakens, and sometimes people get their pressurization updates. You know, and I think the devs do a reasonable job of trying to give different parts of the community what they want. Not perfect, of course, but reasonable well. Let me read some of this chat. Yeah, they definitely. So this is if I were to come up with a hypothesis, I'm reading. Let's read. I'll read Boathouses out. Yeah, you know, he's talking about the flow rates need to be looked at. you know, the fluid ports are running too slow. If I were to make a guess why, because a lot of people are like, dev's stupid, dev's made flow rate too slow, dev's not thinking, dev's stupid. That's kind of like the Steam argument or the Reddit argument. The problem is this is, if you remember back a couple months ago, um, the air was constantly blowing out of um, custom tanks. And so if you put a door frame in a custom tank and you put a spawner in it, it would blow air pressure very high out of there, and it would cause a ton of problems with the game. You kept seeing posts all over Reddit, all over Steam, of people saying, what's that loud noise when we come in? It was the air trying to rush out of a room. And so what the devs did as what I would say as a stopgap measure was they made it so that the airflow coming out of that room is slower. So yes, the air still comes out of the room, but they probably got rid of the sound, and they made it slower so that it's not blowing you out of the room and you can't stay in the room. So they decreased the delta pressure range. The problem now is that also slows down water intrusion and how fast you can take air out. And so again, it's unintended consequences. If there was a magic formula they could just plug in the code that would make everything work perfectly, of course they would do that, but it takes time, it takes work, there's balance. What's the right rate? Like, there are probably people out there who would like their ship to sink in 15 seconds. That's probably too quick. And there are some people who wouldn't mind if it took an hour, and that's probably too long. And then so you say, okay, well, is 20 minutes too long for a sinking ship? Well, somebody who's like doing sinking ship survival and actually wants to run around their ship, well, the ship is sinking, maybe 20 minutes is perfect. But somebody else, like, oh my God, 20 minutes, that's so long. I'm like a hamster in a wheel. I need it to happen instantly. So you're never going to make everybody happy, and there's going to be a compromise in there at some point. Let me see. Liquid cooling, yes, absolutely. Yeah, I went over that the other day. Is liquid should be the king of cooling. Yep. How's it going, Amanda? Yep. Yeah, use words the actual meaning, not likely for Reddit. Yep. Yeah, that's the problem though. Is like, I would love to. I deleted like the link of Reddit off my PC, and I deleted Reddit off of my phone a couple weeks ago. And the problem is, again, it's kind of a double-edged sword. If you have people who like to help in the game who leave Reddit, then Reddit becomes an echo chamber of just the negative people. And so you're going to get people who would legitimately have a good time playing the game who, skip the game because they went on Reddit. People said the devs are abandoning the game, which they're not, but they read it on Reddit, so it must be true. And that everything's broken in Stormworks, which I've heard many times, the hyperbole you hear there, that everything's broken, and which it isn't. And so if you don't ever have anybody go back and, kind of share, a different view of things, then you never actually hear what's going on, because like literally, like let's go back. I won't rant for too long, but like here, let's go to the weekly update here. Like this has been maddening to me, the weekly updates, because literally, like all you have to do is you come back here, you go to weekly updates, and they're all here. They're all here. Like you can go back week after week after week after week after week after week after week. If you wanted to read up on something that was going on, you could go back through the whole thing. But often you'll see a lot of people don't do that. And so like if we go in here, like this is one of the reasons, the only reason I like to go in here is, for example, I keep seeing this from new players. These are people who just bought the game, or are probably going to have a good time if they play it, but they're listening to people who have no clue what they're talking about instead of reading it. And so if you didn't have somebody who, for example, like I did, put a post on there, then they would think the game was dying and they might move on where they could enjoy it. For example, like this one, wait, new game? I'd say it's too soon for Stormworks 2, given you virtually just released a new DLC a couple months ago. So again, if you read from December 1st, work continues on not Stormworks 2, so literally not Stormworks 2. And then he goes, you just released a deal, a new game, and so they say it's not a sequel. I'll read the whole thing. We continue work on Not Stormworks 2. If you're not familiar, it's a new game that we're working on. Only one thing is known for sure. It's not a sequel to Stormworks. Stormworks will continue for a long... This was the important line a lot of people were missing. Stormworks will continue for a long time and isn't affected by the other game. We'll announce more info in 2024. So literally you were having new players. I think this happened the week before as well. It's like it's literally happening every week. You'll have somebody who will say Stormworks is dead, and then you'll get a new player being like, oh, really? Crap, I just bought the game. And they get all dissuaded now. Would you want to play a game if you legitimately thought it was dead? No, you'd say, oh, the game's dead. Maybe I'll get a refund if I still can, or, oh, crap, I can't play. And that's not the case. That's not true. And so I find it frustrating, and that's why I go back and, because if it's just an echo chamber of negative people, then, a lot of these people are never going to get what's actually going on, which kind of sucks, Let's just catch up on chat here. But that's why I still go in those negative places is, again, they become echo chambers, and it's not really a good thing. I think if everybody, like, let's say every single person in the community was in all the forums, and we would get a much truer representation of what the community's like, Making a diving bell. Yeah, again, I always think back, I'm reading Dave's comment about the, for such a small dev team. I think there's 4 people. This is a lot of work and a pretty good job for 4 people. Now, if there are 400 people, a lot of this stuff would not be cute anymore, right? Certain things that should be fixed should have been fixed if you had 400 people. But when it's down to 4 people, you say, okay, well, that's because 40 hours a week, that's 160 hours per week with a full dev team. Nobody's on vacation. If nobody's on vacation or sick, you'll get 160 hours of work theoretically. And so you say how much can get done in 160 hours. And then if you get a reasonable amount of work done in that time, so you figure they're working on a new game, they're working on I think I don't know if it's a different dev team or not, but they're working on major updates. They have 4 planned, so likely they're already working on at least some of the major updates. They're working on the minor updates. They're working on bug fixes. So now you say, okay, each week, like, let's say one person's working 40 hours on major update, bug fixes another 40 hours, and so it starts to become what's reasonable in that amount of time, and that's where a lot of people, I think, miss the boat. Neutral buoyancy would never go down is the problem. I need it to be slightly negatively buoyant. I need it to go down. It doesn't need to be very. It doesn't need to be very negatively buoyant, but it needs to be like if it was one kilogram, heavier than it had buoyancy, it would still sink. It just needs to sink though. Let me see. I have never played with fluid jets. I probably never will. I have really no interest in fluid jets, so certainly not the guy to be doing with that. Yeah, I think 20 minutes is pretty good for a sinking rate. If you could sink your ship in 20 minutes, see, the problem is every time I go on the workbench here, let's save this real quick. Every time I've been sitting in the workbench for most of it, so my timer's pretty friggin' useless. Because every time I go on the workbench, this stops filling. Because the world pauses, essentially. So, this isn't a real representation of how long this has been taking to fill. It says 24 minutes, but I literally have... every time I go in the workbench, it stops. So, just do this really quick. I'll just spawn that out, and we can't really extrapolate all that well either. But this was tested last night. Here, I'll bring up a screenshot. it sinks. You can get water intrusion in with damage. It's not enough. Absolutely, I agree with some of those people. The problem is, hyperbole really isn't a great, isn't really great. It's if they would go to the proper place and be like, hey, can you guys increase fluid rates, so that we can sink ships in a reasonable amount of time? I think 20 minutes would be a reasonable amount of time. That is, and then if all the people who wanted sinkable ships in a reasonable state would star that, then that would be seen as a priority. See, this is the test vehicle yesterday. So, that's the problem. Is the hyperbole is people say you cannot sink ships. Yeah, you can. Look, it's sitting at the bottom of the ocean. You sink ships fine. I have a submarine. Submarine works fine, doesn't it? Submarine goes right down to the bottom of the ocean. So, but they say, well, that's not what I mean. It's just it takes forever. It's like, oh, well, that's not what you said. If you said they take too long, yeah, I'll agree with you. It takes too long. Okay. But they did it for a reason. And a lot of people I see lately in the community are like, oh, just roll back to before space. They say roll back to before space. Well, space wasn't actually what caused this. It was a pressure update. Pressure update was a major update. That's part of the base game. Like, people have asked, oh, well, let us, we should be able to deselect it because it's a DLC. It's not a DLC. It's the base game. And it's because people asked for it. And there's a poll. I'll bring the poll up. I'll get off this rant, but it's it's just I keep seeing this over and over again, and so the misconceptions are problematic because if you repeat a lie, not a lie necessarily, but if you repeat an untruth long enough, it becomes common knowledge, and that's problematic because people say, "Oh, I thought the devs said this." No, they didn't. You heard from other people like yourself that said that, and then you took it as gospel. So here's the poll. Okay, so right here is space 8. All right, right here is, where is it? Pressurization, compressed air right here. So this was the major update, compressed air. Okay, compressed air was the major update. Space was the DLC. They came out on the same day. Space, compressed air. Space was pretty much the moon, wrapping world, RCS thrusters, all the parts for space, hydrogen, all that stuff. Also, they changed the way that sub-bodies worked so you could put a spaceship up and leave it up there, put some other parts up there. Compressed air, which is the pressurization update, was the other part of this. Was the major that came out at the same time, and one of the reasons they did them the same time was because you'll like to pressurize your spacecraft, so they go well together. We'll go through the poll super fast, but nuclear reactors in, weapons in, sales. The devs said in the last Q&A that they worked on sales, were not happy with the results, and may go back. Natural disasters are in. Ships, planes, and helicopters in. Cooperative vehicle building is not in, and quite possibly unlikely to happen because it's impossible. Arctic ice breaking. If I were to guess why we don't have Arctic ice breaking, is because of multiplayer. A big part of the community consistently on a daily basis complains that multiplayer is laggy. Now, multiplayer is not great. Part of it has to do with how good's your computer, how good's your internet, how overloaded is the server. But so one of the things the devs did is we used to have floating ice chunks. Okay, the devs took those out for multiplayer performance. That they took that out because people were asking for better performance. So every time you see somebody say, make the game perform better, optimization, optimization, optimization. Well, that's why they do these things. They take those out so that some people can get their optimization. So likely we're not getting that because you'd have to have a bunch of floating chunks of crap out there that would slow the game down. So it's unlikely they're going to do that. Space, we have. Now, steam engines we have. Compressed air, we have. Fishing. If I were to guess, fishing is going to be a major update. We have 4 coming this year. I would say fishing would be that. If you think of the scale of things, think of oil. Oil was a major update. So we got oil rig. What do you call it? The information. We have the oil rig information. We have the ability to drill in the ocean. We have all the points to drill on land. We have the ability to fraction oil into diesel and jet fuel. We had slurry. We had all the parts. So if you think about fishing, the amount of work oil took to have all those different parts, I would say fishing is probably on par with oil. Oil goes with the general scope of the game. I think fishing goes with the general scope of the game. Things that go with the general scope of the game tend to be free as a major update or a minor update. So oil was a free major. Fishing, will, if I were to guess, would be a free major. Runway lights, we have decorative components. I would say no, because we didn't get an actual decoration pass. Like, they didn't give us parts. It was hey, this is just for decoration. Like, here's a chair, or here is a toilet, you know, or here is a sink. Fleer, we don't have Fleer. Stormworks, we have component modding. No clue what people even mean by that. No weapons is in opposition to weapons, so that one's just, I think, canceled out. Pathfinding API, no, and I'm not sure exactly what that means. Kraken, we have a Kraken, and then this one says no more features, just bug fixes. As you can imagine, the no more features pretty much killed that for most people. It absolutely kills it for me, you know. That means game's locked, and I'm glad that this was so poorly received. But that was that. And then if you guys want to read this, they go through each and every one of them pretty much. Nuclear reactors, they talk about weapons, sales, natural disasters, cooperative vehicle building, space, Arctic ice breaking, storm woofs, you know. So the information's readily available there, you know. So you can kind of just go back and read some of it. Let me see. You know, you can't just, you have to do it to a certain extent. You have to have a max inflow of air and a maximum outflow, inflow of water, outflow of air. And the reason is delta P. You know, they're setting a maximum of 60 atmospheres. So at some point, you know, you could increase the size of the hulls by adding more doors to get it in, but you do have to worry about the delta P value on there as well. So it's going to need a balancing pass, absolutely, 100%. They're going to have to balance it. And guess what? If I could see behind the scenes, I would say they're working on it. But they just haven't found any sort of good solution to make both parts of the community happy, you know? Yeah, I don't do any fluid jets. He can do it if he likes. Yeah. Yeah, I like the that's my thought process. Boathouse is the I don't do any 5-minute tutorials, and I've gotten a bunch of comments lately on my videos that I just delete that are like, you know, I'm not watching an hour video bra, and I'm like, okay, well, don't watch it. Nobody asked you, you know, nobody's forcing you, right? I didn't hold you down to watch the video. If it's not the type of video you want to watch, don't watch it. You know, and so it's I make my videos for people who want to watch them, and I think it's better to teach why the why things work. And if that's not what somebody wants to learn, they just want the 5-minute quick thing where they don't learn anything, but they just learn how to hook it up and they don't actually learn the mechanics. That's fine. There are plenty of those videos. Go watch them instead. You know, I don't go hunting for views. But I appreciate that, Boathouse. See. Yeah, David's saying, for the weekly update, junk comments, I so want to reply. How much did you get done this week? Yep. 5 to 10 is too fast for a boat to sink. Like, if it was a ship broken in half, you'd imagine that, you know? You know, the problem is this, too, is, again, you have to imagine the different parts of the community. Okay, imagine you have somebody who likes to play weapons DLC. They're out in their warship. They get hit with one shell, and their boat is going to sink in 5 minutes. And so they don't have time to go close the watertight doors. They don't have time to pump the boat out. They don't have time to save the ship. So if you get hit once, the boat sinks to the bottom of the ocean, you're done. That would ruin a lot of the gameplay for the weapons community. Now, so let's say it's 20 minutes. Your ship gets hit with a shell. You retreat. You close the watertight doors. You start the bilge pumps. You go down there with a crew and you start to do repair torches to stop the water from coming in. Once the hull's repaired, the water stops coming in, the bilge pumps take over, pump the water out, watertight doors come back in, you turn around, you go back and you fight. That's why, that's why it sounds simple for somebody to say, oh, I want 5 minutes, it should be 5 minutes, but you need to understand that that 5 minutes could kill somebody who likes to play weapons DLC. And that could make it so that they can't play their type of gameplay. Like, I don't want to alienate. Like, I don't like the sinking ship survival, but I don't want to alienate the people who like that either. That's perfectly fine. Is it what the game's intended for? No, but there's nothing wrong with them doing that. I think there's something wrong with them trying to take over the game, which isn't going to happen. At the end of the day, this is the devs' game. They get to make the game they want. And I imagine if I was making a game and my game is like, okay, this is what my game is going to be, and somebody's like, hey, you should make it this. I'm like, nope, that's not what's going to be, Now, I'm going to work on my ships for pitchable propellers before I'd make any sort of system. It's pretty simple, pitchable propellers. I don't know how much. How's it going there, Anton? Yeah, see, I don't know how the slider would work. That's the thing. There's too many dependencies, and that's why I think it's a hard thing to do. Like, and then the other thing too is a game should not be infinitely customizable. I think that's, the game should have a theme, or I'm trying to think of the best way to put this. For example, why did the devs get rid of the ability to have infinite fuel at your base? To force you to actually have to do the logistics. So they forced you into it. Like, it used to be an option. You could make it so that you had to refill your own bases. Okay. I thought it would be a great idea to do. I turned it on a couple times. But then anytime you didn't, like, you weren't forced to do it, sometimes you say, oh, screw it. I'll just get infinite fuel back at my base. And so by forcing us to have to do our own logistics on this, it forces you to play a certain way, which again, it's their game. They're trying to get us to play a certain way, and I'm not opposed to that. And what's that caused me to do? Well, one, I build oil rigs, I build refineries. I know some people don't want to do it, but at the end of the day, if you really don't want to do it, and that's what the game's about, go like that, and you're good. It's really not that hard, but to a certain extent, yeah, they do have to. They are going to push you where they want you to go because it's their game, and there's nothing wrong with that. That's like Escape from Tarkov. You had the Chad community who wanted it to be more like Call of Duty, and Nikita, the lead dev's like, no, this is not Call of Duty. This is more slow, strategic survival. The goal is not to just go run around like it's Call of Duty. The goal is to survive, And so they make it so you can't necessarily play the way you want because it's not how the game's intended to be played, Yep. Yeah. I love the people. I'm reading CG's comment of no more features means the game will start dying like Scrap Mechanic is. That is the worst thing they could possibly do to this game is to stop adding features. You can see it in my view count. You can see it in how people come back to the game. People come back to the game, get really interested when new parts come out. When new content comes out, because like I haven't streamed the last couple days mainly because I haven't been inspired to build anything, and so when something new comes out or I get inspired to build, I'm back and I'm playing, and so that's what happens with a lot of people, and you can't imagine the game's gonna just hang if you don't have new content for people. Like some people, like if you look at the workshop, if you look at the discords, you'll see a ton of people have been building cranes. Why did they build cranes? Because the devs gave us pulleys. A bunch of people have been working on new stuff on their ships with pulleys. So that small addition of pulleys brought people back. People were thrilled with the variable pitch propellers. So you need new parts to keep the community interested, period. So you can't just, so the people who are like, oh, they should just do bug fixes. No, it's not going to work. You have to have a balance. You have to have a balance of keeping the game running well, and you need to add new content You need to interest new players. Like, as much as, you know, I'm not interested in Space DLC, there are a bunch of people who bought the game because of Space DLC. And that's how you keep the lights on. They either need to charge all of us a monthly subscription fee, or they need to bring in new customers to make revenue. You know, and that's how they did it, you know. And I think, you know, the DLCs are great for the reason that if you don't want to do it, don't buy them. You know, nobody forced you to buy Space DLC if you didn't want it. You don't need to buy Space DLC, you know. The people who wanted to buy it, they help us all because they keep the game alive, you know. So it's, you know, it's a good thing. And the new parts keep people coming back, and so it's very important. Let's catch up on chat here. Yeah, that would be good. Like the, you know, they, like you said, they could do stacking for damage blocks. It actually does stack a little bit. I can't do it in here, but I did a little test last night. I don't play with C4 and that bullshit anyway, but I actually spawned that ship that I had there with C4. I put a bunch of C4 in the hull. The first couple pieces of C4 did nothing. As I did more explosions, it started letting water in. You know, so, you know, again, they have to scale it. Like, you know, they could do something simple that for every 100% damage block lets in 10 liters per second. So if you have, you know, 100 damage blocks, you're now getting 1,000 liters per second. You know, so the more damage it is, the faster the water comes in. You know, but again, it's easy for me to say it. It could take months of work to actually make it work and balance it. You know, games spend years trying to balance, so the expectations can be quick, as you know. Yep, but that, like, yeah, I like Rasmus's idea there. Yep, like, you know, I haven't played Scrap Mechanic, but CG's saying Scrap Mechanic hasn't had an update in about 2 years. A new good mod came out, and now the game is being saved by it. Exactly. It's people love new content. Like, you can literally see in my view counts, new content, people come back. You know, view counts go up. You know, you see a ton of new players, a lot of more commentary on Reddit, Steam, Discords. People come back. You know, and that's there's a reason why every friggin' game studio does it, because that's how you get people to come back, right? And it's human nature, right? You get bored, give me something new and different and interesting to do, and guess what? I'm interested again, you know, and that's the exact thing that normally happens. Let's see, what do I want to do? Okay, let's do this. I'm trying to remember where we were. We need to do some work here. Why does this not have the pump? Okay, it does have the pump. It doesn't show. Oh, I don't have the thing showing. Okay. So let's give this a looky-loo here. Right, diesel and jet. Not good. So these are fractioning off. Yeah. One thing I would like some of the community to stop doing too is, I know most of you guys don't do it, but it's you know, one of the things the community does is, if they can't figure it out, and they can't figure it out very quickly, they assume it can't be done. It was like, I heard so many comments of, you can't fraction, fraction's broken. You know, the better thing is to get on there and say, hey, does anyone know how to fraction after the new pressure update? I'd like to be able to fraction, right? That is a question that somebody can come in and answer. But you say it's broken, well, now 10 people just read that you said it was broken, and they say, oh, I'm not even going to boot up the game. I wanted to drill for oil, and there's no point. It's broken. You know, so I think some people don't understand what they do when they say something like that, is that, you know, they get people who don't even want to play anymore because they, you know, they said something that was untrue. And so it's like, as you can see, fraction is working. You know, I can make it work even better if I put in one heater pump there, or just pit control this. But we're getting plenty of diesel and jet fuel out of this, no problem here. Let's go right here. It shows the how much. There's 3,000 and 3,000. You know, making plenty, making more than I can ever use. You know, so it absolutely works. You know. All right, so let's see. So I need to get. I owe some people some. I'm not gonna fly the Mr. G plane again. I don't know why I said I would. I did it once already in the episode. That's been done. I already did a rescue with Mr. G's plane. I did it in one of the career build series as, was supposed to be done. Um, and so I used Citrus's truck for one of the cargo transports. So what I want to do is I want to buy FJ. That's going to be important for us operating this new ship. So I think what we'll do is we'll take one of the trucks from the last build challenge. We'll head over to Urine Wind Power Plant. Yeah, we'll head over to Urine Wind Power Plant. We'll grab a container. I'm going to teleport here. I just want to make sure there is one that I can actually deliver, because if there isn't, I need to not come here. I need to go somewhere else, because I don't want to waste a ton of time driving around, driving back. So, BVG. And so I have 2 more to go, I think, on that, because... No, we had a tie. There might be more. I got to check it. FJ. There's FJ Warner. FJ Warner. I didn't even see the price. I'm doing it too quick here. What do we get? 40? 4,000? 4,000. I was going to say 40. Jesus. We'll hit that one real fast. JSI. Source South. JSI. Spike Hex. Source South. Source North. BVG. Source North. BVG. Okay, so it was this green jobby here? Or that one? This one here. Okay, so this jobby here is an FJ. So we'll go grab one of those trucks, and we will go deliver this. 182 minutes remaining, so we have plenty of time. Let me read a little chat here. How's it going there, Citros? What's happening? What's happening? Not too much. Worked on a diving bell a little bit. Worked on the cargo attachment for the... worked on the cargo attachment on the new home ship here. Let me double check the build challenge. I should probably get the... they auto-update, so we should be good. All right, so there's 4 total, because I have Citruses, I have the other one that was my favorite, and then it was a tie for community favorite. So I'll do all of those. Yeah, let me see. So I did Citruses already. Okay, where was it? Not have that one. There it is, right here. Halotech Ascender. Halotech Ascender. So this was one of the winners. Let's check all my settings here. Infinite electric fuel, vehicle damage can come on. Horn, let's check. Okay, is that parking brake? Okay. So I like this one had a hook lift, which was different. Not too many people had hook lifts, which was nice to see. It was nice to see some different mechanisms. That was a good build challenge. Thinking of the next one. Not in too big of a rush to do it. I still haven't decided what I want to do yet, and figure out the schedule for what to do. Yeah, when I did mine, I did a sliding table. Like Chicken Store and I pretty much. Well, did Marley have a sliding table? Can't remember. But a lot of good entries there. It was very close to the points for the last build challenge. Some really good builds. Oh, brakes. There we go. Started getting a little bit aggressive there. Yeah, very interested to see what some of these more minor updates are going to be. If you think about it, we've had some really good minors lately. We had the pulley update. We had the variable pitch propeller update. Those are really good, and so I'm looking forward to seeing what else the devs have kind of up their sleeves, you know. And those are things people asked for, you know. There is, I don't know, sometimes a screed that, you know, the devs aren't really doing what people are asking for, but they are, you know. It's just maybe not what you wanted to happen, but you know, they're following that poll pretty much, you know, one for one. You know, the poll is pretty much coming out. You know, of course, like something like, for example, you might have voted for something to be the #1 choice in the poll that might take 3 years to make. And so, of course, that might not come out first because it's going to take you 3 years to make. And if you actually read the poll results, the devs talk about like, oh, this will probably take us a while. You know, this one might come sooner because it's going to be easier. Um, you know, so it makes sense. You know, if the first choice is something that'll take 3 years, well, it's not going to come first. You know, if you have something that's the second choice that will take a month, maybe they'll work a month on that, get that out, so people have their second choice up first, and then behind the scenes working that first one. You know, but there's some really good minor updates, and then I'm really excited about the majors. We're supposed to get 4 major updates. If you figure how big the majors were before, you know, I was talking about the oil update. You know, the oil update, I love the oil update. Like, you know, I'm not a huge fan of the oil spills in their current state, but oil drilling, I think, is fantastic. Like, the ability for me to drill and make my own fuel allows me to have, you know, ample access to cash, and it also allows me to, you know, fuel all my vehicles and make it myself, which I think is a really cool thing, you know. And it's easy, you know. Well, it's easy if you have Industrial Frontier because you can do it on land. But you know, again, for $10, you can go get Industrial Frontier, you know, and add a whole new content with some conveniences on it. Whoa, steering there, guy. Come on, keep on the road there, guy. I thought that left turn. It was this left turn I was waiting for. A little gap in the terrain there, it looked like. Yeah, I don't know if I've ever made a hook left. You know, a lot of it's the geometry. You have to get the geometry right, and you have to get the weight and balance correct so that as it's going over different points, it doesn't lift the vehicle up. But did a good job on this one. I'm just going to quickly, when we get there, I'm just going to quickly send an at person who made this so that if they wish to watch, they can. Still have a good drive here to go, so yeah, I just want to check temperature. See the engine temperature? 35 degrees. You know, so again, that's oh, don't you do it. That's another comment you'll get on the old Reddits and all the hyperbole stations of it's impossible to cool after the pressure update. No, it isn't. No. Just gotta ask the question. Hey guys, I can't figure out how to cool my truck. How do I cool it? And then you'll have somebody who knows what they're doing do it. But often you'll see people, they wait till they get frustrated, then they go on, and instead of asking for help, they rant. And it's hard to help somebody when they're ranting. You know, it just is. You know, because any sort of, you know, they're at that point when they've given up and now they're in a ranty state instead of a receptive for help state. A little bit slammy on the brakes here. Not bad. do like a backup alarm. Yeah, this was a big, if you guys remember from the stabilizer mags. Okay. If you guys remember from the challenge, it's big for me to have good transmissions because I actually use the mirrors to back up. So I love this tipping rear on there. That was a really cool feature on there. Probably need to come forward just a hair. Okay. Parking brakes on, that's why. Okay. Mood lights. Let's put the mood lights on. There we go. Oh, I did the bottom connectors to the tops. That would be why. Okay. Now what did I just do? Disconnect arm. Oh shit, in a shingle. I did disconnect arm, then I lifted it too fast before it reconnected. Okay. Nice smooth motion there. I really like the mechanism on this one. Let me quickly send a message. In case they want to watch it. Let's see. Yeah, this is the Halo Tech Ascender by Guarded Halo. Alright, so I just did an at them. Try not to get irradiated here. I think we can go out this way. Try to read while I'm moving here. Mirror reversed? It is, yep. This one's neat. That one shows the right side turn this way, but this one is inverted. Common thing to happen. I would say just a radiator, probably a 5x radiator. I'll look in there. I would say it's probably 3x or 5x. Like I can keep an engine this like the thing with a truck is that if you have a big motor and it has a proper transmission, like you don't need to go more than like 5 to 8 RPS. And so if you're going 5 to 8, maybe even 10 RPS, a 3x3 is more than enough to keep you ice cold. So. And I think we go left here. Yeah. So we're going to go down and we're going to buy FJ. That really helps with... I can fly stuff in there. There's also another oil derrick there. So we could... That's the easiest place as far as I'm concerned for drilling because I can easily put it on trains and ships and it's a short run with a truck back and forth from FJ to put it right in the dock. And then I can quickly, I can spawn the Albatross. That's one thing that's kind of slowing down my fuel transfer is the Albatross was built for moving fuel via air. It can move 4 of the pallets. So, like one of the minors I'd love to see the devs do is put radio control on a lot of these things. I want to see radio control bridges. That would be beautiful. Put a radio frequency, kind of like we have for track switches. That would be cool to see. Trying to think, what else would be good? What do you guys think for minor updates would be interesting? Because again, the the screed is often that they don't give us what the things we've asked for, but people have been asking for variable pitch C propellers. People have been asking for pulleys. I know I've asked for both of them in the feature request where they belong. So people have, and I've seen them there. So people have definitely been asking for those things. So I'm trying to think what are some other, reasonable things that could come in a minor update. That would be fitting of a minor update. I think fishing would be a major update. I think that's one of the 4 majors if I were to guess. I can't think of what the other majors would be, but like a good logistics, a farming one would be cool. Like, what I mean by logistics is like you have to transport people and goods. So, like, put in a grocery store and you have to go to the warehouse and get food, and it's maybe a pallet that I like to see standardized pallets that can, for example, that would help us standardize a forklift. That's how it's done IRL, is you have a standard pallet size, so you can have some standardized forklifts, and then you can load all sorts of trucks with that. You could have the same pallet fit in planes, so that would be cool. And, transport that around in the logistics updates. That would be kind of cool. Multiple ropes, cables, rope anchor per winch pulley. Dualies, yep. Native dualies would be nice. I'd like to see that. Yeah, I don't know, though. The thing, though, is the reason why you can't hook up multiple cables to a winch IRL is they would tangle. You could hook, you can buckle a couple onto an eye loop, fine, but you really can't bring them up because they'll tangle and they'll crush each other. You'll fray out a cable if you have it overlapping. Improve roadways would be nice. Like, these roads here on the industrial frontier, I think are fine. Like, this one's not bad. As you can see, this is like, I'm going a good speed. Like, this looks slow. We're going 90 kilometers an hour. I'm not in 6th gear because we're going to hit here. You can pass the rope through the pulley. What do you mean? I don't know what you mean. Because you take it from the winch and you put it through the pulley. I just don't know what you mean. There, boathouse. Because that's what we have, unless I'm not thinking of what you're thinking of. I would love to see a passenger major. That could be part of logistics, but it might have to be separate. But, I have my issues. I do like Stormlink mod, or the add-on, whatever the hell you call it. But the issues I have with the Stormlink add-on is that, one, I'm not a huge fan of the stations. Because, like, for example, you'll have a station at the train at FJ, where it could be the airport. I think it would be better if... again, you kind of, you have a mission pop up. Transport 5 people from FJ to Tajin. Well, likely what you're going to do is you're going to take them with an air vehicle. Likely you're going to take them with an airplane because it's from FJ, which has an airport, to Tajin, which has an airport, right? Makes sense. It's the fastest, most efficient way to do it. So if you don't fly into FJ, the people do not spawn. The problem with... Stormlink as well is that the people are always in the world, and so you have a ton of NPCs. So for example, that's why I never put Stormlink in my career games, is the people back up. You constantly have to delete the people out to try to get your frames back. You have issues with that. I think they could put it in the native mission system where if you fly into FJ, the people spawn in. And so, as you get close to FJ, it says 5 people to Tajin. Well, the 5 people spawn in. And then if you just ignore them, like, just as quick as a normal mission, they disappear. And so that way you only have the people in. So you might have 10 transportation missions, but because you haven't actually landed at or gone near any of the places, like say you had 5 at FJ, 5 at O'Neill, 5 at Holt. Well, if you don't go to O'Neill, you don't go to Holt, you don't go to I forget what the name of the other town is. If you never go to those places, the people actually never spawn in because the missions don't spawn in unless you get close to them. And so it doesn't affect the resources. And then if you get close, you get the mission, and I think that would be a cool way to do it, Have some baggage, that you have to put in a baggage hold in the airplane. That'd be kind of a cool thing to do. It wouldn't surprise me if all these animals they added in, which I think is a good detailing, some of the same people who said that, the Industrial Frontier is so boring. Yeah, it's a desert, man. What do you think's in a desert? Sand and rocks. There is scrub brush. That's a legitimate thing people wanted was scrub brush. But it's resource intensive, and you have, at the same time, you have a ton of people every week saying that the game's not optimized. So one thing I think they added that was nice detailing is I love seeing the buffalo. We drove by a coyote, we drove by a rabbit, we drove by buffalo on the way to FJ here. A little bit of grip on these tires would help. I think the tires on this don't have any sort of up grip on them. But, that little bit of animal interaction, it gives me something to look at. Every time I go by, I might take a look at them, and it gives you a little bit more interest. More animal interactions for the, talked before about like a cool mission would be, there's a bear and this has been around stealing, food out of the trash barrels in this area, in this village. Go there, tranquilize the bear, and transport the bear. So you have to tranquilize the bear, put the bear in a cage, load the cage into whatever vehicle you want to take, and transport them, you can make it really challenging. There's a bear terrorizing people in this village that the only way to really get there is a truck. So what do? You take a truck, you load up the bear, then you go to an airport, and it says you have to deliver them up to the Arctic, at the zoo or whatever. There's a zoo up the Arctic, and you need to deliver them at Tajin, So it gives you a bunch of challenges where it takes you a little while to get the bear there, Yep, couple goats to hit, like I almost went careening off the road and rolled my truck one day because it had a couple goats in the road, and I think that adds a good bit to the game. The game used to have underwater plant life, but it was taken out again for optimization. So it's, personally, I'm not somebody who plays multiplayer. For me personally, it would be better if multiplayer disappeared and they focused on the single player environment. But I understand that a lot of the community, wants and needs multiplayer to have fun, and so I have no problem sacrificing my desire for that, for the betterment, I think, of the game and make sure the community, other parts of the community enjoy it, But personally, again, I don't think of it in a selfish way, but like, you get some people who do in the comment sections, and they'll be like, oh, if my thing doesn't come in, then XYZ, it's bad, and it's not the case. Sorry, guys, I'm trying to fix the music. All right, so there's the other oil rig right there. So that would be good for, we can get that going as well. This thing has a lot of fuel. I think we started with 675 liters, and we've used about 30 liters. So we've used 30 liters to go across the continent. So no issues here with range. Go. Brings tank. If I'm not a big fan of hurt, I don't want to hurt any animals IRL, especially, but like I have no problem with people in game doing whatever they want with the animals, but that's not me. But I would like an option to tranquilize them would be kind of cool, they already have some of those mechanics. I can't imagine it's too challenging to add it to the animals. For example, we already have an unconscious mechanic for people. The difference is when they're incapacitated, when the timer runs out, the person dies. They go into death state, right? So what you would do is you change it that when you tranquilize a bear, for example, it goes into unconscious state. and then when the timer runs out, it gets back up. Wakes up again. And so that would be a cool way to do it, that you end up, you end up being able to very, I would say, probably easily change some of the code to make it so that you can also do that with animals. One thing I would love to see them do is, again, it's a huge pet peeve of mine. I hate the railways, but again, I don't want them taken away because the rail community likes it. Sorry, guys. Even though I mute my mic, I coughed into it. Anyway, so I would love this island to be down here, further away. So since I doubt they're going to ever do that, unfortunately. I would love it if they did, but I doubt they're going to do it. So what I would like instead is, we have all this real estate now. Look at all this real estate. Like, we have real estate down here. That's essentially right on top of the Arctic there. But, like, we have real estate over here, right? We have real estate over here. So give us an island, like, right here. It doesn't have to be as big as this. Like, make it this big. Make it as big as Donk. Donk is a good size, right? So make it the size of the Isle of Donk. Put it up here. Put another one down here. So, or somewhere else. And so that would give us, put a little air, right? So if you think about what Donk has, right? Donk has a coal mine. It has an airport. You could put a small airport on each of those islands and a seaport. And, maybe make one a fishing village, right? So make them both have a fishing village where you can spawn. So that would give you more real estate to buy. It would give you a place to do that. You could have missions in there. So, like, let's say this is a fishing village for warm water fish, and this is a fishing village for cold water fish. And so you would take your fish. So the best place to go fishing is up around that island. You still can fish anywhere else, but that's the best place. So you go up there, you fish, and then you transport your fish down here and sell them. That'd be a cool mechanic there. Now, let's go ahead and we will do stables. Alright, there we go. I really like this mechanism. It works well. Alright, good. Why am I not able to drive here? What's going on? I stalled the engine? Maybe I stalled it. I think I stalled it. Okay. Yeah, horse riding would be kind of cool. That could be part of a farming update where we could ride horses. We have cows in game. We have buffalo in game. For example, maybe you, what I would do if I were them is I would just make a couple farmsteads, make a ranch down here, make a farm up in, I already talked about where I'd like it. I'd like it here because this is a pretty dead area. Make it in here. This has some good area in here. And so it's a buyable place. If you buy it, if you buy the farm, you get to do farm stuff, Doesn't have to be farming sim level, Just as we don't expect the flying in this game to be flight sim level, But add some cool elements. Maybe we go out and you can trank a cow, transport a cow. If you have a cow and a bull, you now over time start getting more, The herd increases in size. How's it going, Xorus? Good to see you. Yeah. I enjoyed my little break there. Been playing a lot of Tarkov again lately. Tarkov's been good. Put out some shorts the other day on Tarkov. So, if you guys are interested in that. But that's been fun. So, couldn't think of really what I wanted to build, and that's, I'm still not super gung-ho about building right this second, and that's, it's good to take a little break and then get, you really want to, it's best to really enjoy building, and when you're not, like I don't force myself to play, you know. So it's kind of why a little bit of break on the stream there was, you know, I'm gonna play when I'm really enjoying it. I'm glad that shut the doors again on me, you scum. Alright, so that was a good run. Again, this was by Guarded Halo. That was a really good build there. Enjoyed that. This was, let me just double check. I can't remember which one. I think this was Points and Citrus was my favorite. Yep, that was it. Citrus was my favorite. This was Points. So there were a bunch of these that were right within like very close proximity of one another on their points. And it was a real challenge, dude. That's why we had 4 winners was, you know, I picked 2 for myself, and then we had two tied for the community. And there were a lot of builds. Let me see if I can count the build count. There were quite a few builds for this challenge, which was nice to see. You know, I don't mind it when it's a small number. It's a hell of a lot less work for me, but it's also like, you know, I don't want to make every challenge for everybody, and sometimes they're going to be where it's just not interesting to a ton of people, and that's fine too, you know. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 builds, you know. So a lot of good builds in that. Let's see. I'm just going to close that real quick. Let's open the door. And I will see what we have for container, if we have something for JSI. And then we'll go, we may or may not take another one. I can't really think of what I want to do too much. I don't want to just do a mundane mission. I might keep the stream a little short today. That's a 3 for JSI. That's a north, south, south. JSI 3, 90 minutes on that one. JSI 4. Yeah, maybe I'll get the VTOL cargo plane going at some point to get these up there. Minky and I have the other one. Minky's actually running. Minky could be cool to take a run. I forget how to even run Minky. UBG. You know, again, I would like to see them do a logistics pass. This would be a big one for me. Is I love that we have, like, I don't go up the Arctic much, but I love the distance. Like, this is a good distance. That's about 45 nautical miles. I hate that this is so close. I really do. I wish this was here. Here would be good. That's fine. Like, it doesn't have to be 45. Make it half of that. You know, make it right here. But this is obscenely close. I don't know why they. I know why they did that. Is they're trying to juggle. Some of the community thinks that anything over 5 minutes is like they'll become an old man before they ever get there. Some people have different tolerances for how fast they need to be moving. That's why you see people making boats that go 300 knots. You know, but personally, I would have liked this down here. But the problem is with cargo. Here's BVG. You know, they shouldn't take anything away. I'm not a big fan of taking anything away. What they should do is, talked about this before, add a container port here. And then what we'd be able to do is go, okay, I want to go from FJ to Tajin, but I'm going to take an airplane. So I load it on the airplane, fly it up here, dump it, take it off, put it on my mover, bring it down here, yay, delivered. Or if I want, put it on a ship. I can take a ship from here to here with cargo containers as well, you know, because there's no way to drive there. If I want to do a train, I would take the container from here, put it on a train, and then go over there with the train, you know. So that gives you a little bit more to do, I think. That small addition, I don't think it's big. Like, I can't imagine that's too big for the devs to just put in a new spawn spot for containers. I really can't imagine it as a ton of work, you know. Yeah, I don't want to do that right now. We're getting to the point where we could theoretically start to almost use money-wise. We don't have enough money probably to spawn the home ship, but we're close. So, Komodo expired. There's a 4 for JSI. What's that time-wise? 253. We have a couple. Let's see, what time was, how long is the stream been going? I'm trying to decide what I want to do here. Then we go for a couple hours here. Let's see what I want to do here. I'm going to keep it on the short side. I'll show you a couple things I've been working on. I haven't been doing much at all, and I'm still kind of in a little bit of a trying to figure out what I want to build. But I was trying to build a new seaplane for the new home ship, and I was playing with this one. This is not going to actually be it. And so this was kind of this fits on the pad, and this one's kind of cool because it expands. So if we go, what's that, rotation 1? Infinite nope, that was it doing it? No, infinite electricity needs to be on. So that that rotates the wings to fold the wings up, as you can see. So fold the wings, I need to fix that. Folded wings, and then the other one here is, so like when it's in its folded position, it looks like this. So as you can see, it's nice and compact. And then if we go to 0 on that, the wings fold out, and then what we would do is we go on this one as well, and the tail boom slides back. So that was kind of a playing with this design, see if I get it going, but I just don't, it doesn't float right. This has the buoyancy glitch in it, and it's still not floating the way I would like it, so I'll kind of show you what it looks like. But this will fit in the pad of the home ship, but I don't like the way it's floating at all. So if you put it in the water, it's not terrible, but it's not good either. You know, so it's not terrible, but it's not good either. But it was kind of it was a fun little bit of work there to get to work on this. You know, and then you would extend the tail boom. See if we can take a little flight. Yeah, I'm using electric motors. That's why it's barely flying. Is I just have electric motors in there, but you see it does fly. So kind of a fold-up plane concept. You know, so just kind of a proof of concept to see if it will work. Problem is all the sliding booms and stuff. I'm not moving fast enough. We could try something really quick, but kind of a cool idea. See if I come back to it. I just didn't want a project where I was going to have to spend a ton of time working on panels, but the kind of proof of concept's kind of a cool idea. Folds up nicely. Fits in the pad. You know, it just gives me something else to use instead of the standard helicopter meta. Oh my god, if I can speak English without too much of a Boston accent, we'll be in good shape. Helicopter meta. Oh shit, I gotta remember I'm not in a custom game, so. But yeah, that's, god damn it, if I could figure out what I'm doing here in a second here, that'd be good. I gotta pull this back. We're not in a custom game, but that was kind of something I was working on. It'd be kind of cool, you know. Let's save this up. Let's go back in the custom, see if I want to work anything, but I'll probably keep this stream a little short today. Short and sweet. What are we talking here? 16th. Let's load this up. Yep, so that was good for Guarded Halo. If you guys want to try out his vehicle, that's still posted in the posts for the last build challenge. That was a good vehicle. I really like that. I'll read some chat. Yeah, it's got the rocket glitch in it, and it has an absolute piss ton of battle cannon in the nose. So the problem is I would have to really work on it. Let's see how well it flies. I need to do a couple things here, but it does pretty well. So far, let's go like this. Like you see, this is all battle cannons. This is stacked. The nose is stacked with battle cannons because the rocket glitch is right there. Trying to lift the tail up. So it's not terrible float-wise, but it's not great either. Here, let's do this. I just want to increase the, here, let's increase the size of the, I just want to get more power out of this if we can, so that, see if we can actually, see if it will fly. It's just mostly proof concept. I know when I put in, if I put in a proper size engine in there, it'll fly fine. Yeah, I just want to kind of test it. So, just using electrics for now to test it out. Makes it easy to see if it's actually going to work. If it's not going to work at all, there's no point in taking the time and effort to put in a bunch of module engines. Kind of like the concept of the folding wings. And this needs to be deleted here. Okay. Alright, good. That's there. Why is this not merged? What is that all about? Oh, it rotates. It's on the rotor. Okay. It's on the rotating segment. That's why. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Not good. Let's get these plumbed in. Take it for a quick little spin, see what happens. Sorry, just push the tail up. It did. Tail's out. Okay. Should I have put electricity off for some reason? I did. Holy shit. Okay. That was way too fast. Application of power. Yes, yeah. Yep. Yes, yeah, I know that. It's, I had to balance it. The tail doesn't have as much points, so I had to balance it around. Works pretty well doing it this way. Just, it eats up the space I have in my wheel well. Shit. I gotta go slowly with this. The problem is I'm doing pitch correction with my propellers, and that pisses it off. Alright, let's see. Try to get this throttle going here. So 10%. Let's go. That's good. Ah, you bastard. Let's fix this here real quick here. Hopefully we get this done here in a second. Push. Push. Okay. But it's pretty good size in here. %'s not going to be enough, probably. Let's do this instead. Use my tricks here to get this seaplane working well. Try that. I haven't tried flaps yet. That'd be kind of nice to try. Put a little flap. Look, yes. Why is that upside down? It is, though. I don't know why this one got put upside down. There we go. So I wonder if last week counted as announcement week. I would say so, but who knows? They said every 4 weeks we're gonna get something new, so I don't know how many weeks it would be. Plus, you know, being holidays and stuff. I don't know if what the dealio is with that. That's gotta be negative. Okay, that would be why this is screwed up. There we go. Let's do that. Okay, that would be why that's screwed up. Okay, why the fuck is that not doing it? What? Why is that not doing proper pitch correction? What is going on here? Should be negative value on the pitch. It should be a negative. Why the hell is it not coming up properly? That just too small of a number? Maybe. Gets to be annoying testing it when I have to like no clip in 3 different ways to get it to go. There we go. Alright, that's already better there. I had to tune that in. Already working better. Okay. There we go. Beautiful. Alright, we already have a seaplane, so. A little bit of tuning there. I gotta push this back. There we go. I know that's gonna... This actually flies pretty damn well for folding wings and an expandable tail. You know, and I can put control surface in the body to fake some of it. Like right now, I am having pitch because I said something. It fucked me, but son of a bitch. We're gonna have to fake that probably. Okay, that's not a big deal. We'll fake it. Let's go through some chat here while I let this load back in. What am I building? This is a plane this is an expandable seaplane I was working on last night maybe, and it's for the home ship, but I think I'm gonna use my other one. That's fine. Let's see, what did I want to do? Okay, let's go like this. Let's go. Because the control surface get wonky when they're on movable stanchions. So what we want to do is essentially centerpiece there. I think where I want to put them. Just do this for now. That one is hollow. Hollow, hollow. Hollow. Come on, man. There it is, right there, okay. And then solid, solid, solid on this side. Can't see. Solid. Solid, solid. Okay, where is this? Like, this has literally no gyro on it either. So that's the other thing. No gyro at all in this. So that is the other thing that's going on here, is there's just no gyro whatsoever on this. So it flies pretty well for no gyro. The problem is it's when these are on movable control surfaces, they don't like to work very well. So kind of need to now what are we talking? Just hollows? Okay, hollows. Symmetry, please. Thank you. So let's try this, see if we get some better, because a lot of stuff it just doesn't like to work on the movable parts. So we'll put a yaw fin in there too. What are we talking? Hollow left. Let's see how that flies like that. But yeah, they don't like to be on movable surfaces on separate subgrids because it deprioritizes them. So I put it on the main body, they get prioritized. So that's why sometimes it doesn't like to fly correctly, as it's deprioritizing my control surface essentially. Why are you doing this to me? There we go. I overthrusted it. There we go, so. Let me get the... Come on, grab it. There we go. Okay. So pitch is... It's not pitching at all. I don't know why it's not pitching at all. Misbehaving because everything's on the wrong... It's not on the main body, so... I'll have to play with it, but so anyway, in the meantime, this is going to be the seaplane that I'm going to use for this. That's a seaplane I've used before. What is it? So this one here is the one that I'm going to be using. This one. So this one fits on the pad. I need to put in some sort of utility to connect this correctly on the pad, but this is little seaplane that I built for the home ship that I never got close to working on really. So this is an amphib. Let's go. This one should be go to go. This one needs a little bit of work here and there, but it's mostly done. Or mostly working, let's put it that way. So like this one here, and then flaps take off land. It's using too much propeller pitch, so I need to fix it, but this one flies pretty well. I need to put in integrated yaw to correct it. But this one flies pretty well. Who knows what the cooling's like at this point, but I can easily fix that if need be. Yeah, this goes the same speed as the helicopter, so we don't get any big speed advantage, but this one works pretty well. And this will fit on the pad, so this one is uber light, especially with seeing as the rocket glitch in there. I need to fix the rudder, but Some Basilisk screen in there. What do I have in the back for seats? Quite a few, actually. 4, maybe. Let's put gear down. Flaps to landing. Start slowing down a little bit. I'll try to read this chat. I'm just going through some IMC here. Yeah, the control servers never like being on subgrids. They do get deprioritized, so I expected that to happen. I was going to have to put them in the body. But, you know, I'm probably going to stick with this plane. I might go back to that. The shell's built, so whether or not I continue it, I don't know. I just want to get proof of concept. You see it flies, that one, but just not going to like to have folding subgrids. Just isn't. So this one's a good amphib to fit on the new home ship. The problem is when you use the rocket glitch, it is so friggin' light that any wind is going to be unusable. So that's the problem. A little slow. This is very light, very incredibly light, this one, so it is very susceptible to wind. And then I'm controlling the pitch and the propeller because of, as you can see, how high the engine is. So the center of thrust is way above the center of gravity, so I need to control it quite a bit to get it to operate right, but not too bad of a landing there. But kind of a cool little seaplane here that that will fit on that home ship. But just the problem is the connections. I need to find a way to connect it. Could you rope it down? Any tips for staying motivated making creations? Well, sometimes you're just not going to be motivated. Like, I wasn't motivated. Like, I'm still not all that motivated right now, and so it was, take a break when you need to. You know, I think that's, I get bitten by the bug again when I take a break. You know, take a break sometimes. The other thing is, have some goals. Like, you know, one thing that keeps me going with career is I want to get the home ship in. I want to have some cool vehicles. Like, at some point, I'd like to build a drone that can put out fires. So, like, you'd send the drone out to put out fires. You know, so like that's something, a new tool. Like I want to make a diving bell. So today, like I couldn't think of what I wanted to work on. There was nothing I really wanted to build. So I said, I'll make that diving bell I've been wanting to make, or start on it at least. So stuff like that helps. Just, you know, but sometimes you don't need to be motivated. Take a break, you know. What's that? 1, 2, 4 seats in back here. You know, sometimes it's just, you're just not going to naturally be motivated, but, you know, so this little plane, I think, is going to be the one we use for it. But this thing is so super light because it's got the rocket glitch, plus it's pretty light as it is. So, but yeah, that will go on the home ship. All right, so I think we're gonna end up there. Kind of tired and still lacking a little motivation to build certain things myself. So we'll. You know, it comes and goes. You know, it came back to me, and you know, it will come back when you can't wait to play, and sometimes you don't, and you know, it's not really great to force yourself to play a game. You know, if you're not having a good time, then don't play. You know, it's go play something else, take a break, because all you do is you resent it at that point. So let's go ahead and thank the members. So we have Side Mountain, Connor Boyle, Danny, Sergeant, Chaos, Aaron Repairs, All Citrus, Rasmus, Mandaviar, and Anton Anderson. Thank you, Anton, for rejoining. Appreciate that. Thank you to Chicken Store for being a patron. If you guys are interested in any of that, it's down in the description below. Thank you guys for watching. Thank you to subscribers. If you have not subscribed and you enjoyed it, please consider subscribing. And if you guys would like the video, that helps it out. And we'll see you guys later. Bye.